Hey there, I am Anastasia. I am the manager here at the Creve Coeur location of Treats Unleashed. I used to be a veterinary technician. I worked in the field for 5 years, and I did most of my continuing education credits on nutrition specifically. So you've decided to transition foods. What is the first step to that? You're going to want to do this over the course of about a week if you have a dog that has a pretty hearty stomach, and you're going to take longer if we have a sensitive stomach. You're going to take a fourth of your new food, add that into your old food, mix that in for a couple days, see how that goes. If we're pretty good with that one, we're going to mix in a half and half blend for another couple days. Then if we're good at that point there, we're going to do 3/4 of the new food, 1/4 of the old food. And if we're good with that for another few days there, then we can transition fully over to our new food. So some issues you might notice if your dog has a sensitive tummy or when you're first starting a food transition is you might notice loose stool. That's going to be your first sign that you might want to slow down that transition process. Loose stool on its own is not something that we need to panic about. Loose stool is not something to call the vet over. If we have diarrhea, we will want to end doing that new food, go back to our last point if we have been transitioning. It could be caused by the food, it might not be, but I'd recommend discontinuing a new food if we have diarrhea. If we are chewing on our paws or our rear end, that could be because we have a protein sensitivity. So say you've moved on from a chicken-based diet to like a fish diet, like this one right here, and you've started noticing we're licking at our paws, maybe rubbing at our face a bit, licking at our butt. That could be because we have a sensitivity to the type of protein that we have switched onto. It is relatively common to notice food allergies cropping up during food transition. So when transitioning from a straight kibble diet to a kibble and let's start with gently cooked, because that'll be more similar than different. It'll be kind of close to doing an addition of wet food at first. You can notice a little bit of loose stool from adding moisture in, like a gently cooked food, if we've never had any moisture added into our diet before. So if we are transitioning from a standard kibble to a raw diet, you are going to notice GI upset. Unfortunately, that's just going to be the nature of it. It's pretty different. So with our raw diets, we have the meat, we also have organ and bone included in those raw diets. They try to more represent a prey animal than one of our meals, so a cooked meal with vegetables and all that. We're going to notice some GI upset if we've never dealt with any sort of organ meat before. Organs are essentially a multivitamin that comes from an animal for your pets to eat. They are super, super nutritious, but they're also very rich. If you've never fed an organ meat before, it can cause diarrhea. We're going to slow the transition down if you notice loose stool. So the difference between these things is the kibble will still be cooked. So they use an extrusion process and they cook this kibble. It does change the fats. So when we cook something, it takes the fat from something that's really easily digestible for our pets to use as their first source of energy to something that they cannot really utilize. So instead of having that fat in there as the main source of energy, kibbles do have some starches in them just to give our pets the sugar that they need to make up for them being unable to process those kind of processed fats. So something that you can add into a kibble when you are transitioning the food there is going to be a canned pumpkin. Pumpkin is an amazing source of both soluble and insoluble fiber, so it helps with both diarrhea and constipation. It is good for the stomach, it helps everything bind together the way it's supposed to. Anything else you can add is going to be a goat milk. The goat milk also has pre and probiotics in it. It is really great for the stomach to help boost the natural gut flora, so maybe if we're having a bit of sensitivity there, this will help us out. Canned pumpkin, we don't want any additives in it, so we don't want any sort of sugars. Cinnamon is actually okay for dogs. Cinnamon also helps the GI tract, but we don't want to have a pumpkin spice blend in a canned pumpkin that we're feeding to our pets. that could definitely cause some upset with our tummies. And then for our goat's milk, the difference is the size of the lactose molecules in the goat milk and in cow's milk. So the lactose molecules in goat milk is actually small enough for our pets to process. It's actually small enough for humans to process as well. They do sell goat milk at the store, pasteurized of course, not a raw goat's milk, for people with lactose intolerance. But this goat milk here is going to be a small lactose molecule that our pets can process right on through.